Hi everyone, so here's a quick video on how to make a tongue for your character. So tongues are pretty easy. We just simply start with a box and we just need to scale that up, and then I'm just going to come into the attributes for this box and just give it a width of about 2.2, maybe a depth of around about 6. Looks pretty good there. Looks like it's pretty thick enough, and add 1 subdivision for the width and about 4 subdivisions for the depth there. And then we're just going to come in here and just grab some of these edges, pull them in together. So this is going to be our tongue. Pull that guy down, pull these guys together, just grab the faces there, pull those together, and maybe grab the sides here and scale those out slightly. And you can sort of see if I smooth this already, you'll see it sort of starting to look a little bit tongue-like. I'm just going to come in here and delete these 2 back faces off the end here. So what you'll see that'll do is it'll make sure it doesn't sort of taper there towards the end. And then we can come in here and just kind of scale those down. And I would just come in and grab those end faces and just do a bit of a soft selection. Just pull that up and just twist that down a bit. And you can sort of see we're starting to get a bit of a tongue shape. Obviously it'll depend on what kind of character that you're creating, if it wants to have a thick tongue or a thin tongue. It's quite hard to say, thin tongue. So you can look at some reference as well, obviously. And then if we want to just come in here, we can just come in here and grab that middle edge and just sort of pull it down. Scale it in a little bit and just pull it down. And it just starts to give us that sort of flatness for the tongue. And if you want a quite a defined ridge in there, if you're creating a kind of more cartoony looking tongue for your character, you can come in here. I'm just going to scale that guy out a little bit and just turn it around. Now you don't need to close this off. It doesn't need to be attached into the back of the head. You can just sort of push this tongue back and just have it sitting inside the geometry, as long as you've got an inside area for the mouth. And if I wanted to kind of have a ridge in there, I could just come into edge loop, insert an edge loop, and just put a couple of edge loops just in there, and that'll just give us a bit of a crease for that tongue as well. Just so it's got a little bit of a crease in it, and you can see what that looks like unsmoothed. It's kind of blocky. Looks alright smoothed. If you're wanting more detail, you're really wanting to rig this tongue so it sort of flops around a little bit, you can just come into mesh and just do a smooth on it, and that'll just give you a little bit more geometry, and so that when you go into unsmooth mode, it's just looks a little bit less blocky. So there we go. There's a very simple tongue that we can have, and you can obviously move that pivot point back, and you can put a joint chain on this as well, just so you get a bit more articulation, and that should help you a lot when it comes to doing the dialogue for your character. Okay, that's just a quick simple way of generating a tongue.